evening from Vietnam. Good afternoon to you, Tassos. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon joining our program to share your amazing journey to our audience around the world. And on behalf of the listeners, we want to say thank you.
Thank you for your invitation. I'm honored and excited to be here with you, and let's see how we can both bring some value to our listeners and our audience today.
Absolutely. And you have been traveled the world. You've been doing a lot of amazing things. Have you been to Vietnam?
No, not yet. Actually, Vietnam is in my bucket list, let's say, right? But I have not been there. I've been to China, I've been to other countries in Asia like Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, but unfortunately Vietnam, no. But I will definitely come to your side, one soon, hopefully soon.
See, now you have a new friend, new family here. So you
Thank
have
you,
more
appreciate
reason
it.
to come here. Okay. So if you come to this country, make sure you let us know. We would love to see you and take you around.
No, thank you, appreciate, really appreciate. I will do.
Hey, and in our culture, and I think it's similar cultures from where you've been through. It's very honored if we can have you to share a little bit about who you are and the work you do to our audience. Could you say that? Share that to us?
Yes, please, please. Would you like to have some specific questions, or how do you like to this to run?
How do you want to share to people about who you are, whatever the way that you want to share?
Okay, that's fine. That's great. So I'm a Greek citizen originally. So I was born in Greece, in Athens, right? And this is where I got my studies and everything. I grew up with my family there. And then in 2013, that was 12 years ago, we decided to move to Qatar with the family. Because actually my wife got a job offer here to work for the FIFA 2022 World Cup in Qatar, here in Doha, right? So this is when I took the decision. Back then I was working in the corporate world. I was a senior commercial director in the pharmaceutical industry and company back there, a very big one in Greece, very well paid and everything. But then I just said, I just clicked to me, and I said to my wife that, look, if the next 10 years for you is something that you appreciate in your career and you want to have your career, in football, because she used to be a manager in football anyway, and this is the thing, a golden opportunity for you, I said, I will quit. I will follow you and I will quit. And I just quit. So this is how we arrived with our son back then. He was 4 years old, to Doha and Qatar. So basically, I started from scratch again, literally from scratch, because the business I was working with was in pharmaceutical and fast-moving consumer goods. And Qatar is a very small market for this kind of business, and I did not want to get involved in this. I just want to change myself as well. So I found this opportunity, to change, to find something different. And step by step, one thing brought the other, and I became now a coach, and actually an executive holistic coach, certified, accredited by the International Coaching Federation at the professional certified coach level, the PCC. And I'm also a corporate trainer to organizations and companies that they appreciate my services in order to be able to train their employees and their staff for any challenge they may have. For example, strategic planning, change management, adaptive leadership, time management, advanced communication issues, conflict resolution, negotiation. All these that let's say it's coming from my previous corporate experience, long corporate experience, together with my now coaching approach, basically, and my coaching expertise. What else can I tell you about this? About you, about myself, to you is I love some kind of hobbies and sports. I'm fond of martial arts. I'm doing my Kung Fu practice for like 9 years now. I'm at Qigong, so the internal energy practice, right, which I do also myself a lot, almost every day, to keep up my fitness, my health, my resilience, my focus, my clarity, and all this balance, and let's say try to maintain this physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual balance. So I think I've said a lot. So please go ahead and ask me.
Hey, beautiful. You know what? Yesterday was a Woman Day here in Vietnam.
Mm,
And I think I spoke to a gentleman from Oman on Saturday, and it was a Woman Day in Oman also last week
mm,
also. In Brazil is also a whole month of October they call Pink Month. So we had the CEO for BAT there. He said that they celebrate the whole month for women leaders and women appreciation also.
very
And
nice.
you demonstrate that 12 years ago you quit your job to give your wife the leeway, the option, the support for her to continue her dream, moving to a new country. So thank you for doing that. You did an amazing job. That's why you join our show. That's why we want to have you to join.
And,
Okay.
you know what? Sometimes, just following up on what you're saying, thank you for the appreciation. But you see things that you're not expecting, and you're taking your risk and your chances, to discover new things, explore new ideas or explore new opportunities and new adventure, is bringing you to paths that maybe you've never dreamed before. So I was never dreamed before that I was becoming a coach. Imagine that back in 2013, when I was still in Greece, in the corporate world, I did not even know what an executive coach is really doing. I knew what a sports coach was doing because I'm coming from competition sports myself, but I did not know what an executive coach, ICF certified, and all these are really doing, right? Back then, imagine. So I just discovered it like a few years ago, and then I said, this is for me. So this is when I started my coaching journey.
We're going to bring you back to that because my wife and I, we founded a platform called helloNEWNESS. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And we interview experts, 1,200 experts, a lot of leaders, a lot of, well accomplished individuals around the world in 100 countries. And we found that newness is running into their body, their blood, their bone, their DNAs. So they really, that's something that really helping them to lead change instead of, follow with the change. And that's probably the reason why, first, we are trying to promote that newness framework, and I'm happy to share with you more. Bring me
Please.
to when you were little, because we believe that there must be some moment in your life that created that transformation. So how does time travel means sound to you?
Sorry, come again. What was the
How do
question?
you
How
feel
come?
about time traveling?
Time traveling. Oh, wow. I
Okay,
like that.
let's travel time with me, okay?
I like the subject. I love the
Okay,
subject. Yes.
okay. When I
Very
was
nice.
little, I grew up in a very poor community, very poor family. But my mom always had a dream that one day she's gonna give us and send us to America for school. So America for school, for university, that was very specific. And I still remember vividly that we were so poor. And one night we had electricity. The next night we did not have electricity, so it's dark. And the only thing that gave me enjoyment at those dark nights when we saw the moon and it's light, right? So my first dream about the world that I will do, the job I will do is I wanted to become an astronaut, all right, and fly into the moon, see how bright it is up there. Life did not give me any opportunity like that, Tassos. So except that on the journey that we've been doing interviews like this, I interview a lot of astronauts. One of them was the guy who came to the moon, the youngest one out of the 12 person ever walk on the moon. So for you,
Wow.
when you were little, what was your first dream about the future works that Tassos is going to be doing and showing to the world?
Well, it's funny because most of us, when you're young, we have maybe similar, let's say, dreams. So yes, the first thing that I wanted also to become astronaut and be able to travel, right? Then to
Uh-huh.
travel not necessarily to the moon or something, but outside of Earth, let's say, outside of the planet. Then for a few years after, I want to be a policeman, like with the motorbikes, with the motorbikes. Policemen to catch the bad guys in the streets and be able to bring justice to the world and all that, and that was very quite intense to me, right? And actually I had the opportunity when I was in the army, because in Greece we had to do military service mandatory for 2 years, and I was in the Air Force, right, selected to be in the Air Force. And in the Air Force, we had training of bicycle, basically a security force, let's say, from Air Force, and I did not take the chance because I got a little bit scared, afraid of the big motorbikes because I've never ride a motorbike before. And I had only to start with a big motorbike, right? A large motorbike. And I did not get the chance. So I said, no, it's not for me. So I stayed in the police air force, on the police air force, but without a motorbike. So
and then from there, you had your first dream actually some way connecting because you've been traveling different countries, doing different things also. So since when you start to have a career of moving into different country and grow onto a sea level?
Yeah, so I will tell you first how the traveling mostly started because during my, let's say, when I was teenager, I started traveling a little bit with the sports because I was a swimming competition. I was doing swimming competition basically, and then water polo competition. In Greece, there's especially water polo is a very famous sport, right? So I had the opportunity to travel with the national team, you know, to different countries. So this is how it started. And then when I was in the army again, I saw an ad one Sunday morning. I remember I had the newspaper, you know, back then we had newspapers, no social media, no mobile phones, nothing, right? So we were just reading the newspapers in the morning every Sunday, and we were getting the newspaper. And then I saw an ad about an MBA, a Master's in Business Administration, that was like in Paris, in New York, in Southeast Asia, and Japan. That was like a 15-month MBA. So I cut the paper, literally cut the paper, you know, the ad, and I kept it in my wallet for 20 months. For almost 2 years, I kept it in my wallet. And when the time came, I decided that I will apply for this MBA, right? So I went to my mother back then, to my family, and said, look, I want to do this amazing MBA. I will be traveling in 10, 11 different countries, you know, during these months. I will be studying and all that. Do we have enough, you know, enough financial, let's say, you know, resources to be able to do that? And my mom, she was a single mom back then because I had lost my father when I was really, really young. She said to me, you know what, maybe we can pull out something, you know, month by month and all this. So I had to work, first of all, for 1.5 years first myself to try to get some money, you know, to collect, do some savings, and then do the MBA. But I did it, right? And this is where I really started loving traveling all around. And then again, because of this MBA, it helped me, you know, a lot, you know, to start climbing high, very high up the ladder, let's say the management, the corporate ladder in different organizations I worked for. And I managed to be general manager, you know, in one of big organization, then commercial director in a very big organization, business development director in a big pharmaceutical wholesaler, one of the biggest in Europe, you know, and all this. So, but that's history now, right? That's history. But since you said about the traveling, yeah, this was the experience of traveling and how I got up there.
A teenage boy, right? And you must be very active because you've been on the swimming team and you've been traveling, you've been doing a lot of things, right? You're gonna have to expose to a lot of different things. I want to bring you to that afternoon or morning that you got that newspaper. Okay. And in newspaper, there's a lot of things in there. There's a lot of words in there. There's a lot of columns in there.
Exactly.
Why that one stick out in your head?
I cannot tell you why. It was just an instinct. I just, you know, my eyes just fell into that. I just read it and I said, this is for me. And I just cut it and put it in my wallet. That's it. I did not process it a lot. As far as I remember, I did not process it a lot. It just got my attention, and immediately something told me, it's like a message that came, this is for me, done, finish. You know, it's like I've done it. It's like I've accomplished it. It's like I've already owned it. You know, so I just kept it in my wallet, and then I started, whenever the time came, after like almost 2 years, 20 months, I just started the process for the application and everything. I did the interview. I went to Paris for interview and all this. It was not an easy selection, right? And we were like 45 people from all over the world for this program.
Wow. And I asked you because I think that curiosity is very important, but the tenacity to stay with curiosity a little longer is important as well.
Mm.
That piece of paper could get lost any moment, any mornings, any nights, any days in your life, right? And then you be carried to the next thing, the next big things in life. And that's what make people forget about their dream, forget about their ambition, forget about something important to them. You kept it in your wallet for 20 months, even not being able to do anything with that. So what made you keep that piece of newspaper for 20 months and then having the momentum to make sure that you are going to get that?
I can only reply her that it was like a dream, like a dream, something that I could achieve, and I wanted so much to achieve that, it just clicked to me, I cannot explain it really. It just clicked to me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that this is who I can be, this is what I can achieve, this is what I can experience. So I saw it as an amazing experience for me, to do these studies and at the same time go around the world and meet people and meet cultures and, be able to get my degree, and at the same time experience life. Because for me, it was not just the studies, otherwise I could have stayed in Greece, or I could have gone to UK, to London, outside London, wherever cheapest possible, just to do the studies for 1 or 2 years, right? I think I wanted the adventure. I just wanted the adventure, Maybe this curiosity, as you nicely said before, this is what is driving me. And it still is driving me, because if I did not have this curiosity also 12 years ago, I would say to my wife, no, no, why should we move now? We are perfect here. I have a great job. I have a great salary. We have our little son. We have our friends, our family here. Why should we move? It's a risky move, but it's not the right thing to do. Let's stay here, which I did not. I immediately said again, if you want it, I quit. And I quit. It was again the curiosity to see something different, experience something different, open up to possibilities, open up to opportunities, for the family, not only for myself, but for the family, because we were a family by then.
Wow. We, as a founder of a platform called helloNEWNESS, we interview a lot of people, amazing people around the world, right? One thing that stand out to all of these amazing people, you included, is you have the newness running in the background, in your backbone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you to be very proactive in the process of change, instead of being reactive or in the passive mode. Okay, so if you can, because we're gonna hear it from you. How do you define newness, and why is that we should embrace newness into this world? Like you did it beautifully.
Thank you. Well, that's a great question. I never thought about that actually, right? It's just happening to me, right? It's just happening. It just comes up to me, in this kind of, paths when you have to take a decision, on something. So it's just happening to me. Sometimes without hyper analyzing or analyzing too much about it, just following your instinct. So I'm just following my instinct in this, and whatever feels good, I just follow it. Of course I do some, I work a lot in terms of proactiveness, in terms of planning. If I want really to achieve something like that I did with my coaching practice, for example, it did not come completely by luck, accidentally. Although it came spiritually, originally, but then I stayed true. I true to this vision. I created a plan. I created my steps. I had a strategy. I wanted what to proceed and how to proceed. This is how I've arrived so far here where I am. Bad or good or bad, it doesn't matter. I don't judge it. It's just about the progress.
So when you said about spiritually, explain to us a little bit.
That's okay. You want to go to this journey, to this,
to
this
path, we want to help people
great.
through a conversation like this. So anything that you can bring insights up,
super. So no issue at all. I can share this with you. Although I usually share this with you, with some friends, and some people that they are closer to me, and I know that they are open to some practices or some spiritual practices, right? Because not all the people may be that open to such practices, but I would be sharing this. So, so I don't know if you have ever experienced any hypnotherapy. Have you done any hypnotherapy before by yourself? Do you know what hypnotherapy is? Like
I
hypnosis, like
know.
hypnosis, but it's not really hypnosis. It's really, therapy with a therapist, with a person that is he or she is specialized. He's taking you to a, let's say, a deep kind of sleep, which is in theta frequency, brain frequency, right? In
Mm.
theta level, and then you have full conscious of what you're thinking and what is happening around you, more or less. But you are in this kind of deep state, let's say, of relaxation in a way. Right.
Mm.
So the therapist started asking me, about my past, about things that I want to accomplish, maybe to achieve, or specific moments in my life and all that. And one thing brought the other, and I started envisioning and seeing myself somewhere outside, completely outside the planet, somewhere completely, in like somewhere in the universe or in an astral world, if I can say like this, with different kind of beings, but it was not like beings like something aggressive or something dangerous or something, no, or frightening. It was some very peaceful, very calm. It was like a circle of these beings all sitting around, and we were watching someone talking to us. So I was one of these beings, let's say this circle of beings with someone really, and this someone felt something like a very wise person, an extremely respectable person, if I can say so. I was very engaged to this. It was very strong emotion. I was very engaged to that, and I was listening, very carefully, and I was experiencing all this everywhere in my body. And then this is when the word coach came up. So I did not expect that. I did not know back then still. This is there. Then in the second session, after like few days after, I said to my therapist, I want to explore this more. There's something there. So again, curiosity. So I want to explore this more. Let's try to relive, go back there, to see to this same, let's say, image, the same vision, the same feeling, the same emotion. So she guided me with her way, etc., and I went again back then. But this time it was a little bit different because I was not one of this kind of, let's say, beings living the experience. I was the one teaching them,
Ooh.
right? So then again, this word coach came up much stronger, right? And then I started realizing that this could be a message for me, to start looking around what a coach really is, and maybe how I can go into this journey of coaching, training, on impacting human beings and impacting other people, for good and for better life and for their health or whatever, it's a positive impact to them. And here I am.
So, what made you do that hypnotherapy first?
No, just because some friends did it and my wife did it. And she said, well, you know what? We have this amazing hypnotherapist, a friend of ours. It's a great experience. Why don't you try? It doesn't, I mean, and again, it was out of curiosity that I just want to experience it. I said, yeah, sure. Let me experience to see what's happening. What is this thing? What is this therapy? What is coming? What things will come up for me? Maybe I would discover things for me more for myself, for my behaviors or for my dreams or for whatever,
Ah.
And this was really the primary thing that came up, and it changed my life. How it changed my life, because then a couple of years after, I really decided to follow the coaching journey, and I signed up for the ICF, for all the training, the coaching education, everything, the exams, the long hours of weekends, evenings, to do my coaching hours, to collect all my credentials, all my certifications, and everything, and continue the journey.
Wow. And see, that is how that new net idea, the new ideas of newness, expresses power right there. because you create that newness, you respond to that newness, and then that's how you get into, to see how it takes you. But then from there, there's a lot of people we just sit there and let it go again. So that resilience, that willingness to jump into somewhere that unknown and make sense of that, right? So was that something that you grow up and you have it in your nature, or is that something that through nurturing that you get it in your life, in your idea?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's just I guess I grew up with this. I grew up with this. I mean, like maybe something internally was telling me, you go out and figure out and experience more things and enjoy life and take opportunities, instead of being in your comfort zone, let's say, go get some opportunities and experience life as much as possible. And this is still my mantra in a way, right? I want to
Mm.
experience life. I want to have. I'd say for myself that I'm not a high risk taker in terms of risk. I'm not a high risk taker, so I would not think I would do something extremely dangerous,
Look
right?
about.
Yeah, for example, yes, but I will take calculated risks in that sense. I will do things that I think, I can manage or I can achieve and I can experience.
Wow. You mentioned the word "I think" repeatedly in this
Mm,
conversation, and that is something that my wife and I love hearing, because we want to contribute to this world, our something, and we thought a lot about that something. What would that something be? And we believe that all transformation or change or they happen because people can improve their ability to think, and right now there's so much thing that impacts on our comparing our thinking ability. So the best way for us to do that in our ability is to have conversation like this. And through conversation like this, we ask this question that hopefully Tassos can answer to our audience. How have you been growing your ability to think?
for me, the thinking is coming by the living in the moment, being present. So understanding the experience, understanding the emotion, the feeling, and then processing it. If it's something, a few moments that I described, for example, that they are quite instinctive, so I did not have to think because they came very strong, a very strong emotion, and I connected immediately to this, and I said, okay, wait, this thought, I need to keep it immediately, and I need to take some actions. Other thoughts I analyze. So I've learned through the years, to analyze my thoughts and being mindful and being able to say, okay, out of these thousands of thoughts every day that we are having, all of us, right? Which thoughts are the negative ones? Which thoughts are the positive ones? Which thoughts are the empowering ones? Which thought makes sense for me? Which thought is important for me? And then analyze it accordingly and act upon it, or do not act upon it. Just throw it. So it's a conscious process that I'm doing. It's a very conscious process. And coming back to the kung fu practice that I told you before, that has helped me tremendously the last 10 years to be even more mindful, even more present, even more focused, and be able to really control a big part of my thoughts. Not the whole part, of course. It's impossible because there are thousands of thoughts, right? But at least say that yes, I can relax, I can slow down, and I say, okay, this thought is important for me to analyze further. This thought is not important for me. I just skip it, drop it, avoid it, whatever, you know. So it just come. I don't know what you and your wife, how you and your wife are experiencing this with so many talented people that you are interviewing. So what is your outcome out of this?
I like the idea, the thing that you show. You use your hand, you catch the thought, and you say, okay, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to put it on which category, right? So I think that we wrote a book about that called, and we came up with the framework called thinking. So it exactly the word thinking. The first one is a T, it's mean time. We have to put time out for thinking. And that is what we do every single day. Having conversation like this is sometimes we spend time for us to think also. Thanks for asking. All right.
Hmm.
And if we talk about spiritual, we that's something that is unexplainable. Like out of so many people in the world, why do I reach out to you? Why did you respond it to her? Right? Why are we having this conversation? I mean, it's for a reason. And 2 months ago, my wife and I, we started a new platform called Sustainability Mind, because we strongly believe that sustainability is too many, it is not well defined, right? And there's a lot of initiative about that. But if people don't have the right kind of mindset, then they will not be able to do things sustainably every day,
Mm,
and that will
mm.
not helping to create something sustainable for a long time. And you respond to a coaching for a reason. You want to help people, help leaders to get better, so they can do something that create a legacy, something that's sustainable. So I want to reverse engineer to ask you, if you could define a sustainability mind in your own word, in your own experience, and through the lens of the work you do with other people. So what is that sustainability mind to you?
Mind, the sustainability mind,
Like
you
mindset,
said?
yes,
The
yes,
mindset, yes.
yes.
For me, is commitment. For me, sustainability is commitment to something that is important to you. If it's important to you, you can commit, you can have the consistency, you can have the discipline, the focus, and especially the discipline to keep on going. If you keep on going on that, that means that there is sustainability. This is my thinking about that, because I've seen it in myself and I see it in others. Many people get excited on something and a new idea and a new project, a new venture, financial investment, whatever, and then in 2 months, 1 month, 1 week, or 3 months, they just forgot about it and then they jump somewhere else. They do something else. Other people, they focus, they even get obsessed, so with something so much, with an art, a sport, music, or instrument, whatever it may be the case, right? Or in a relationship, whatever it is the case, and they sustain this for a long period of time, for years and years sometimes, right? So for me, what a better example of sustainability other than those people that they really commit on something that they love or they consider as important. What is your idea of sustainability in this context? Is it
Uh,
similar? Is it something different?
we're still in the exploring stage, so we don't have any idea just yet. I think that's something that it has to, to us, it has to something that we can plan to the head of the pupil, becoming the
Mm,
mindset. For you, like you say, it's something that it has to be committed to it, right? Commitment comes from the mindset also. So I'm
sure.
committed to do it. So we want to build that up. And if you look at your life, I'm amazed for everything that you do is always, with good results. So if you can sum up with some words that people can think about that journey, what did you do well to make, when you reach to a coach or anything that you work, you get it out as a good result for yourself and for other people.
No, I mean, I cannot advise other people what to do, right? I can say only what has worked for me so far, at least, right? I'm a happy person, as you said before, right? So I can say your name, ha ha ha, very often, right? So I'm very positive, optimistic, in life. I always try to see things in the good way, in the positive way, not in the negative way, right? Always. And I'm very relaxed to, any kind of outcome, whatever comes. And then I say, okay, that this outcome, whatever the outcome is there, it's coming for a reason. As you said before, our call, our conversation, any outcome is coming for a reason. Even if in the first it sounds maybe negative or it sounds maybe discouraging or demotivating, in the end, it turns out to be that there was for a reason, right? So, for example, I will give you an example. Of 15, that was in 2006, 2006, right? 2005. I was a general manager of a big company in Greece, and then the board of directors changed, and the new guy came in, and in 2 months he's inviting me in his office through his secretary. He's inviting me to the office and says, "Look, Tassos, sorry, but I don't see your performance in a very nice way. I don't see that you're performing the last here." At least these last 2 months, I don't see that you're performing well. And I tell him, yes, you have told him, yes, you're right. In the last 2 months, I'm not performing in this company because you came here. But don't forget that I've been in the group for 9 years with super performance, with salary increases and bonuses every year. The company paid for my INSEAD, for my London Business School studies and everything. The company paid. And now you're telling me that in 2 months I'm not performing, right? And he fired me. He literally fired me. I knew that he would fire me, so he fired me, right? And I said, okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the cooperation and all that. In 2 weeks, I received a call from the owner of the biggest pharmaceutical company in Greece back then, with $300 million business back then, right? I've never met him in person, only by name. And in 2 weeks, literally, he called me and said, "Look, Tassos, I heard some news. Let's talk." And he hired me. So you see the difference between fired and hired? It's just one letter.
Yeah.
Fired and hired, just one letter. So this is how I see life, and now especially since then, because I felt the feelings of you're not worthy, that I was not capable anymore, that I was criticized, I was judged, and all that. And in 2 weeks, everything flipped.
Thank you for sharing that. This is also the first time I hear between fire and hire only one word different. Thank you.
It's only one letter. One letter
different.
Did I say word? Sorry, I meant one letter.
One letter.
Just
one
letter
no,
difference. Yes.
One letter. I meant the words wrong. One letter. The last question, because you said that you have a few minutes for me before your Kung Fu master came, right? So come,
yes.
Right? So the last question is, we're going to travel time for the last time.
Sure.
And this time, I bring you to see your mom. When you bring that piece of paper, you came to your mom from newspaper, you came to her, and you show her, you said, can we financially taking care of this? All right? And she gave you a little thought. She said, okay, here and there, we could do that. You went out and you do your work, you save the money, where she did her part to contribute to that part, right? And now we get into that door again on that particular day, and you are going to tell her about her decision that leading to the journey that you've been doing everything today. So what is that Tassos now will tell his mom then?
Gratefulness. It's gratefulness, gratitude, right? Because yes, that moment could be critical, and thank you for bringing this up. It could be critical. If my mother would say no, or we don't have the financial resources and I cannot support you and all this, I may not have been able to succeed on that, right? Or be able to achieve it. Maybe I could have done it years after, I don't know, but we don't know. But it was a critical moment, yes, indeed. So that's why I'm grateful. And I'm grateful, and I feel extremely grateful, for my mother. She's still in life. She's 90 years old now, of course. So, unfortunately, I'm far away. I'm not next to her. My sister is there, close to her, at least in Athens, and it's not easy, but it's only about gratitude here.
Beautiful, beautiful. You tell your sister the next time that she travel to see her mom, or you travel to see your mom, give her a kiss first. Okay,
I will.
Because that is the role model for us to do our role as parents, to help to uplift our children, to give the support that needed. Even if we struggle, of course, but then we try our best to help them to achieve their dreams, and that's the best that we could do for our next generations, and that can be an example for them to carry on to do best for the next generations and the other people around them also. Thank you very much for sharing that beautiful story, and Tassos, thanks a lot for joining and spending your afternoon sharing your Oh, it's even in also in your time now, right? So thank you very much for joining and sharing your story, friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the challenging questions and, bringing me more back to my emotional, let's say, state. And it's because this is more powerful. Always this kind of conversations are more powerful. So thank you for taking me there.
Okay, you're very welcome, and tell your family I say hello also, please. Make sure that if you
Sure.
come to Asia
Likewise.
and Vietnam, okay?
Vietnam, next time in Vietnam, face to face.
Absolutely, absolutely. Goodbye, my friend.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Bye bye.